Okay, everyone, we're going to do something a little weird today. Today, we're going to come up with a concept that I'm not sure many people know about. You see, there's a thing going on with Pokemon that apparently in one of the older games, there was a library with a book that mentioned how humans and Pokemon were similar to one another. And at one point, humans and Pokemon even married each other. So I came up with a weird idea. What if humans could mega evolve in the same manner as Pokemon? However, the difference would be that because humans and Pokemon are not the same, they will have a special way of doing it. Instead of using a Mega Stone for Pokemon, they'll instead have a special gadget for humans. So instead of something like a human knight, which would make sense since humans are species, it'll instead be just a special gadget similar to how we have a keystone, but on the other side of that bracelet will be the special gadget that will allow humans to mega evolve. To start things off, we were going to give it the same principle as the Mega Evolution and give 100 plus stats to what specific stat group. Now, the funny thing about the idea of humans mega evolving, I also want to jump into how humans have different stat distributions as well as different typings depending on how they live their life. For example, we have black belts, and we have psychics, and we have hexamaniacs. All humans will be normal type. However, they'll have a second type depending on what life they live or what choices they make when they fully evolve into adult humans. So they're going to have the toddler, the adolescent, and the adult as their evolution line. Whereas the adult is where they will get additional typing depending on how they're going to live their life. So for psychics, there'll be normal psychic. For black belts, there will be human fighting. Well, normal fighting, I mean. And then for hex maniacs, they could be normal ghost or normal dark, depending on how you like to look at it. But here's the weird thing about it. When they mega evolve, if you are just a normal human, meaning you don't have any additional traits, you will have the stat distribution of 20 to all of your stats besides HP, since mega evolving don't affect HP. But for, let's say, the ones that evolve into black belts, they will have the ability to actually get more points into their attack, but less in their special attack. And then for psychics, it'd be the opposite, more in their special attack than their attack. And then for things like hexmaniacs, they can get more into their special defense. And then different kind of trainers who also train specific type of Pokemon, their secondary typing will be based off of the Pokemon they have that is more of one type. Like for swimmers, the water types. Or for Pokemon Rangers, they tend to have more grass types. So, depending on what type you are and what type specializations they usually have, they'll get a bonus stat in that type of stat. Now, one crazy example I thought of was giving my own character, Blizzard Shot, the normal ice type. And the reason why I went normal ice type is to go with the ice that's on my left arm, as well as the ice that I control. And the way I would set up my stats would be similar to that of the normal human, where I would have base 80 on all stats, which is what all the humans will have. But then when I mega evolve, my typing will change from normal ice into dark ice. But the funny thing about that is, I will also have the ability simple in my base stat. Well, my base form, it will be simple. And then for my Mega Evolve state, it will be refrigerate. The moves I will have, it would be Hyper Voice, Ice Beam, Close Combat, and then what was that last one again? Oh yes, No Retreat. That way, when I use my simple ability with No Retreat, I would get double stats in everything. And then, after I Mega Evolve, my ability will turn into Refrigerate, which will allow my normal Hyper Voice to turn into an Ice version of Hyper Voice. And the reason why I went with Dark Ice typing is to go along with how I'm going to act as a trainer. Because I'm going to be more of a dark type towards the Pokemon I'm using. However, in my normal state, I'll just be normal. And the reason why I went with the Dark Ice type is to basically make it easier to defeat me as a fighting type, but more difficult to defeat me as a psychic or ghost type. And I will not be affected by Intimidate in the same way as, let's say, other types would be, because I'll be using more special attacks alongside of close combat. And I don't know too many fighting types that can resist ice and fighting so easily. So I think it'll be a useful ability to have and a useful typing. Another idea would be, instead of the dark ice type, I'll be fighting ice type. That way my close combat will do more damage, and my ice type moves will also still get the bonus. But I figured that'd be too obvious, which is why I went with the dark typing instead. And it'll be kind of cool to see me have more like a shadowy presence while emitting some type of icy aura, than just be a dude with big muscles with ice coming off of him. That's just my idea, really. Now, if anyone has any other ideas that they can have for themselves, like what typing they would be if they are both in their normal state and their mega state, as well as what kind of stat distribution you want. Oh, I almost forgot something very important. I will also have the brave nature to go well with my no retreat, so that I'll have higher attack but lower speed, which will go great considering that close combat will be a very powerful move to use, whereas with refrigerate, it'll make my hyper voice even stronger. I don't know how much stronger it'll be compared to close combat, but since it's not a stab, whereas hyper voice will become stab and stronger due to refrigerate, it might do more damage than close combat. So brave nature works really well for this, since my speed will be multiplied anyway thanks to no retreat anyways. So that's fine. So you guys in the comments, go ahead and put in what typing you would be, what stat distribution you could have, and if you were to have a mega evolution as a mega human, how would you put in the extra stats? Would you just add on stats? Would you take some out and put some in? Or would you do something really crazy and switch up from a more physical variant to a special variant, or vice versa? It'll be interesting to see everyone's ideas, and sometime later, I might come up with a new idea. Something that has something to do with the power of mega evolutions and multiple Pokemon at once. Stay tuned, everybody.